Hello, my kosher friends. Welcome. Glad to have you here. Today, we are going to do an Asian-inspired dish. We're going to be doing chickpea orange meatballs. So the air quotes because there's chickpeas. There's no meat here. This is an entirely vegan dish. We're going to start by making a flax egg. Now, flax egg is flax seeds and water. Now, in here, I have some Chickpea-balls, which I have been soaking because I'm going to add these in for heat. And I'm actually going to use the water from these to take care of that. Now I've got 1 tablespoon of flaxseed meal, and this takes about 2.5 tablespoons of water. And we're going to give that a good stir, and it takes about 3 to 5 minutes for it to activate, so it'll be ready to go when we're ready to use it. In this container here, what we have coriander seeds that I dry toasted in our wok. I've got Szechuan peppercorns, also dry toasted, and some untoasted white peppercorns. This is 2 teaspoons, yes, no, that's right, 2 teaspoons of the coriander. That's a teaspoon, slightly heaping of the Szechuan peppercorns, and a half teaspoon of the white peppercorns. We're gonna go right into our grinder with that. And if you're wondering why I'm not using the mortar and pestle we have, it's because I need the super fine, and we're going to be putting something else in there in just a second. My oil is over smoking on the side here. See how we look. Not bad. We're going to get a little bit more. I'm going to show you where it comes out to. Always let the grinder stop before you do that. You do not like inhaling this. So this is what this wants to get down to. And then what we're going to be adding to it, excuse me, for a gluten-free binder, we have a generic rice square cereal. It's actually our store brand, which is OU and Parv. So that's about a cup right there. And we're going to turn that into a flour, or a breadcrumb really, to bind together the meatballs. I know that needs more. I gotta give it a shake. Yeah, we're still, if you see, we're still plenty of squares. Multitasking, I'm stirring the flaxseed egg as this is doing its thing. We just have to be careful because these things can overheat. Get that out of your way. We're going to talk about all these other ingredients in just a second. There we go. So, nice fine powder. And we're just going to cover that up while we move other things around. Get this over to the side here. Try to knock off all the utensils I have. So, on this board here, the first thing that we have that we're going to go into our food processor, a little piece of ginger I cut up into just little chunky pieces that are going to go in there. 3 cloves of garlic that we're going to put in here as well. I just gave them a smash to peel them. To be honest, I would have preferred 4, but this is the last garlic we have in the house. And I'm going to start, and you got to give that a little salt. I was about to screw up. And the reason you give it a little bit of salt, and I'm also going to give it just a splash of our chili water, is so that it actually grinds up and makes itself into a little bit of a paste. Now, big food processor for that little amount, but we are going to be putting a lot more in there. So, we're going to give this a couple of pulses here. Give that a scrape, because that went all over, heck. This should have been a mortar and pestle job, and then I could have transferred into here. That's my mistake. So, but, oh, that just smells so good. If you like garlic, if you like ginger, you'd be in heaven right now. All right, we're not going to get a paste like this. What I'm going to do I'm going to get that big piece out of there. We're going to be putting the chickpeas in here in a second. So we'll use those to get these broken down more. We'll get it combined that way. We're also going to be doing a little bit of hand mixing once the chickpeas come out. So when we are processing the chickpeas right now, normally when you make these chickpea meatballs, and I got this chickpea meatball recipe, or more the concept, because this is not the way I did it. This is from somebody whose website is called Spain on a Fork. I always say that wrong. He does some really great stuff, and apparently chickpea meatballs are a big thing over in Spain. I was unaware, and we've made these a few times in our house. We do love them. We've not done these Asian style. Let's give this another go here. I'm liking that. We're going to add in our seasoned breadcrumbs. Well, cereal crumbs. And we're going to add a little bit of salt. Now I used an unsalted can of chickpeas. It's about a 15.5 ounce can, and I rinsed them. I don't want to have any of the water from it in there. So we are going to need to add some salt back in. And that should be plenty of salt. And this is going to be getting a beautiful tangy sauce on it once everything is put together. So let's get that scraped down. Get that off of there. Lost my top. There we go. Come on. Alrighty. And again, we're pulsing because we don't want to overdo it in here. We do want some texture. I'm pretty happy with that. Okay, so my first rule of cooking is when you think you've got the right size bowl, you should go up to the next size. I'm going to take a chance here. And let's get the spatula and get this all scraped out. And Becca, how long has this been running? So I can judge my flax egg here because I didn't set a timer.
7.5 minutes.
Beauty. That should be ready to go in here then. We're going to move this over to the sink because we are done with the processor of foods. So give my flax egg just a little bit another stir and right in. And again, this is a job for the spatula. This goes in the sink. Alrighty, so I'm going to start in with the spatula to get this going. And again, this is a cooked chickpea dish. You do not want to use raw chickpeas in this. Not going to do the job. Definitely have to go in my hand. Get some more of that flax egg. Now, this is my first time using a flax egg. I've done the research on how they work. I've seen them used all the time. So we're hoping this guy is going to work for us. But always, if you saw my last post, you said when we do these live, food may fly. There it is. We'll see how much more comes out later. Yeah, I can feel nice texture. I'm gonna let this sit for half a second here. Once I get it just a little more bound together. You know, I was going to use the cookie scoop for this. I'm just going to eyeball these. It's going to go better. Okay. So, very quickly, I'm going to go over the rest of our ingredients. We already talked about the chilies. We're going to come over to here next. And there's an ingredient that I forgot to put in. Right there. We are going to do a little cheat. This is, well, the zest of this orange. And I've got most of it here. I peeled it first. I'm going to throw some of it in here because it was supposed to go in the food processor with the garlic and ginger. And as we say, we cook live. We don't have a script. We can't edit. So eventually we will, but today ain't that day. There you are. So I'm going to get this beat up a little bit. And I'm going to blend it into that. that's a nice fine chop. Part of why I'm doing this is because if you've ever had orange chicken, orange beef, it's always just about the sauce. I wanted to have, I'm going to try not talking over me hitting things, the flavor all the way through what we are eating. And so building it into these meatballs should be really nice. Now the nice thing here, no gluten. This is not going to make it tough. Thank God this was something I could fix on the fly. But we're just going to kind of incorporate it in there, give it some good mushing. It's a technical meatball term. And now because everything here is gluten-free and everything here is non-meat, no egg, we can actually taste this before we cook it. So we're going to get just a little taste for seasoning right now. Tear off a piece. And let's see. I'm going to give Becca a little taste. Yeah, no, I'm not. I'm going to pretend to. Faked you out. There you go. Very peppery. And you're getting the Szechuan peppercorn? You're getting that tingle?
Yes.
Okay. The orange isn't coming through yet, but ideally, as it cooks, it's going to release its oils into the meatballs. So we're going to let that sit for just a second. Flip-flop that off. Going to pick up the glove. I had a spare glove on the side, which I knocked on the floor. Okay. Now, everything else we've got going here. I know I said orange chicken. Or not orange chicken, orange chickpea balls. Sorry. I couldn't resist not just having orange, but other orange things with it. So I've got very thinly sliced matchstick-sized orange pepper and matchstick-sized orange carrot because I couldn't help myself. I'm the guy who invented a grapefruit and grape salad because I love the sound of it. I'm not smart. I just like puns. So if you saw a couple of videos ago, we had a quarter of an onion we used. This is the other half of that half. This is that other quarter. That's going to go in. That's going to start our sauce. We have organic shiitake stir-fry sauce. It is okay parve. This is in place of oyster sauce, also in place of fish sauce. It's an okay replacement on the fish sauce. It is the replacement for for oyster sauce. For the sauce, we need a little bit of vinegar. We need a little bit of sweetness. So I pulled out the organic rice vinegar. It's seasoned and sweetened. So we're going to get some tang. We're going to get some sweetness off this. We have a cornstarch slurry here, which constantly needs stirring so it doesn't keep setting up on the bottom. It's about the fourth time I've stirred this since we set up to get this video shoot in. Obviously, the orange. We're going to cut this down. We're going to squeeze the juice into the wok. These peppers are going to get cut in half. When I get a really good orange chicken, it has always had big peppers in it, and they're always dried, and it feels like they throw them right in the pan. So I'm rehydrating. I'm also going to cut them down because if you want to eat them, they should be eatable. They shouldn't just be, violently painful things to have near you. So I'm going to use, this is the platter I'm going to use to drain these after they deep fry. We're going to pop these into oil in just a second here. I'm going to check that oil. It is smoking. So I think we're more than ready to go over there. And so with meatballs, I generally like them to be pretty much bite-sized. I do not. I hate when we go somewhere. I have friends who make meatballs that are like half the size of a plate. It's like, I grew up, my mom used to make small meatballs. If you couldn't fit it into your mouth, it wasn't worth having. So that's always been the way I make them. And that is about a tablespoon's worth. I'm just going to try to get them all even here. Usually we get anywhere from 12 to 15 meatballs when we make this. It depends on how generous I am in terms of the sizing, how accurate I am on measuring. As you see, this is all eyeball. I'm going as super quick as I can. Now, if you were doing this with chicken or tofu or beef, you would want to get cornstarch coating on the outside, maybe even a cornstarch batter. And you would do a double fry to make sure that you had those nice and crispy and staying really, really crunchy once it comes out of the sauce. Not so worried about that here. I debated just rolling these in cornstarch like you might roll a powdered donut in, or donut in powdered sugar. But I decided I just want these kind of simple. I didn't want to have to mess with any more than I'm messing with. So, we always want to get these the right size. I do see chickpea debris falling everywhere. Oh, the humanity. So we're almost there. Probably gonna get 3 more meatballs out of this. There's 1 meatball, chickpea ball. 2. 3. Turn myself into Woodsy the Owl here. How many licks does it take? So we've got, oh, that one's undersized. Let me see a little from this one. There we go. Don't be afraid to play with your food. Okay, there we go. So we've got 3, 6, 9, 12 meatballs. Right on target. All right, so let's get these over to the pan. So I'm going to take the camera, going to cover everything up there while Becca runs around. And there you go. God, so that's tasty. Now, when you are checking your oil, you see my oil is smoking. You always want to see if it's hot enough. You dip a wooden utensil in there. If it smokes, that is more than ready. Or not if it smokes, if it bubbles. So, I did not get my spider out. I'm going to get this instead. All right. So I actually do own a metal spider for loading stuff into hot oil. And we're only going to do a few at a time here. And we're going to put them in carefully. And I can get another 3 in there. So we don't want to put so many in that the temperature drops. We don't want to crowd them. I say as they crowd to each other. When you do something like this, you want to rotate them. You want to get oil on the top. There's always a little bit of a basting going on. You don't want to do what I just did. They do not want to climb on each other. It's like watching our dogs wrestle. For those of you who do know us and know our dogs, you will have seen that. There's one dog always climbing on top of another. Now, I am going to say they look like meatballs. It's one of the things I do like about this recipe is that they always come out looking like a meatball, even though there is not a lick of meat in them. This is the first time I'm doing a flax egg with it. I'm really happy with the consistency. What I was feeling there was really, really nice. I'm going to move some of this stuff over here. Now, they are going to get a second cook. In the sauce. I'm also going to let these come out for a minute, do the next batch, and then I'm going to give everything a second fry as if it had a batter on it, just to be sure that there's nothing soggy in the middle of it. I would say uncooked, but I want to make sure that it's cooked all the way through the middle. So I think these are good for the first run. Gently over here. Gently over here. I promise next time we will have the spider when we're going to do some deep frying. This is a better utensil than this. This is not a bad utensil, it's just not the right one. So let's get these 3 in. I should have given it a minute before I put them in. You always want to let your oil get back up to temp, although this seems really hot. Put that in these 3. And always a little bit of basting. I have a feeling that my hand has been blocking that shot the entire time. You can tell me that, Becca, okay?
It looks good.
I think the foaming is coming from the starch from the chickpeas. Because if you've ever boiled chickpeas, you see this happen to it. Let's get these rotated a little. I know they're in there somewhere. Those are the world's weirdest bubble bath, ladies and gentlemen. And now the champagne bubbles. For anybody old enough to remember Lawrence Welk, my wife just gave me a look. She does not know who Lawrence Welk is. Probably. Oh, you do? Holy heck! I had no idea. All right. I legitimately have never seen oil do this before. So, I am like going to say 90% certainty that is the chickpea starch doing that. Oh, I caught that one. Oh well. Nope, these ones are not done yet. Hang on, we're going back in. The first ones are fine. The second ones, I'm playing with them too much. I gotta let them sit. So we're gonna let those build up because these, I'll show you this one here. Nice, crunchy, crispy outside. I think I was just playing these too much. I was getting paranoid because of the foam. So we're gonna let them sit for a second, let them do what they're supposed to do. I just tasted the piece that I broke off. That one is so good. I'm not breaking another one for you. I need them all. we're not portioning 11 to the platter later. Let's see how these are doing. Let's pull one. Let's see where it is at. Let's try to pull one. Come on. Again, the reason why Spider is a better job for this. It is not ready yet. Okay. I need to flip them. I had pulled this bowl out to deal with the oil after I was done, and I'm getting all jaws like I think I'm going to need a bigger bowl. So we're going to see about that in a second. In fact, actually, I'm going to get one of the big Pyrex cups out for safety. Oh, you have something working in the one I wanted. I'm going to go with this monster then. This is my batter bowl you're about to see. If you're making a big batch of batter for anything, that is your baby right there. All right, let's see. I say let's see, I can't see them. Okay, this is turning them. All right. So our second batch here is not coming out right, and it is all this foamy stuff that's killing them. So we're gonna rescue them now. Ooh, this is not cool. All right. So let's get all this out there. Is that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? Yes. I have legitimately no idea what that was. So, 6 of our meatballs are fantabulous. 6 of our meatballs are frightening the heck out of me. I'm gonna see if I can rescue them and let them cool for a second. I'm gonna see if I can just do a quick dry fry here. This pan is so well seasoned right now. You need to step back, it's hot. I don't want to hurt you. Thank you. Okay, so, and there's just nothing right with them. Okay. Yes, that was very hot. Okay, so, yeah, I'll be honest, I've only ever shallow fried these, and or we've done them in the air fryer. May or may not have baked them as well. But the difference between the first ones and these is just insanity. I have no idea what went on there. So we're gonna move these around a little bit. I know they taste good. I just have legitimately no idea what happened here. So we may end up just doing for 6 of them if I can't rescue these so that they look nice, and we will eat these on our own. We'll give you guys the pretty meatballs on the plate. All right. So, at some point, we will know how to edit these, so you'll never see this stuff happen. But we will probably do a Patreon page and have like all the outtake stuff for people if we can get that set up. We got a lot to learn here. We have a lot to learn about deep frying and chickpeas and what the heck just happened. So, all right, I'm just gonna roll these out for now. Move these ones over. I was gonna do a second fry. I'm just gonna do a dry fry on these just to get them a little firmed up more. Texture is insane. And I mean that in a good way. Turn the heat up, now that I'm not deep frying. Yeah, it's crazy. These are like dry. They worked really well in the oil. No idea what I did to the other ones. So
maybe we should have changed the oil out.
Possibly, but that was also the last of that peanut oil. So I don't have enough oil in the house to do another deepish fry. Yeah, when things go south, they really go south. So, all right, don't want to be tossing these. They are a little delicate. That's the one I stabbed. All right, I'm just going to pull them. And I'm going to go one more time with our meatballs of doom. I don't know what else to call them. I feel like these sucked up a lot of oil too. So we're going to see if I can get some semblance of crispiness on them. Just give them a minute. All right, while those are doing their thing, I'm going to start to mix up ingredients for the sauce. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with our mushroom sauce. We just use a little bit of this. Gorgeous. And then a little bit of that I didn't need to shake. The mushroom sauce I did. A little bit of this vinegar here. And we're doing about a couple teaspoons of each. Next is when we slice up the orange. So we're just going to cut that into about 6 pieces. And we're going to use the squeezer to get all the juicy goodness out. It's a gorgeous orange. This is also the last orange in the house. So, hang on a second, Becca. I got to go deal with some scary chickpea messes.
They do look crispy.
Well, the one side. Those are, yeah, we're going to just flip this once, give it a minute. Turn over. I did turn up the heat. You went back to the same side again. Yeah. We'll do a separate, those will be ours. You won't see those again, guys. Alrighty, so let's get this in here. And we're just going to squeeze that right into that. And these are going to pull. Alright. We'll wipe that out in just a second.
Oh, that's the last time they'll see this.
That is 100% true. Alright, let's get... Oh, that is a good orange. Mm. Alright, let's get... Alrighty. Now, the slurry is going to go in towards the end of this. We never want to put it in right at the beginning. Can you turn that pan down to 5 for me, please? Thank you. Ah, and I see we lost some skin in there. There we go. Get that pulp off of there. Should have cut this one a little smaller. There we go. Now in theory I can squeeze this by hand, but I really do get a lot more juice out of it this way. I think I just splashed the pan from over here. Oh, get over here. And get this in there. And I'm going to give that a stir and a taste in just a moment. Okay, let me get over this pan. I'll lift the heat for a second. Let that come down a hair. So, did I mention we're not rehearsed, ladies and gentlemen? This is what happens when you're doing stuff for the first time. Alrighty, so we're going to give a swirl of oil. That is beautiful. As always, I do turn around to make sure I coat the pan completely. And the wok is nice and hot, so it's getting that oil really nice and loose. So we're grabbing our cutting board. First thing in, going to be the onion. And we're going to let that go for just a second there. Now, this is not traditional any way, shape, or form. I'm making a dish that I have been envisioning for quite a while. So we have never tasted it. We have never tried this. This recipe was made up in my head and never sampled. So this could be a disaster. We're still going to post it if it is. We have half a disaster going on the meatballs themselves right now. So, all right, hang on. I got to grab the board again. So next thing in, going to be the carrots and the peppers. I'm going to put those both in at the same time. And I will also, actually I'm going to put all of it in, orange peel too. So we're going to let this saute down. Give it a little stir to start. And pinch salt. Let's see all the veggies up on the edge there. Get down, get down! All right, I'm going to go back up to 5.5, I think. Oh, that smells so good. Let's hope it continues in that path. All right. Get that chunky stuff. Oh God, that's delicious. Okay. Now, I'm going to cut these into 3. I want them about even. I want them to spread throughout everything. Here. As you see, food flies every single time I am cooking. So, that choice went right up my throat. Holy heck, we had another orange. I didn't know we had another orange.
It was hiding.
It was hiding. Just caught that in the fruit bowl underneath a lime and a couple of apples. Just, wait, what is that orange thing there? No. Those chilies have a kick. All right, so. Well, that's tasty already.
The peppers.
I know. Now, I am going to put a little hint of agave in here. It's just a little too much tang on there right now. Let's see how we do with that. can't decide. I'm going to put just here more.
Just do it.
There we go. Now, all this depends on the sweetness of your oranges. You know, lots of factors.
Peppers are gonna kill us.
Oh, fabulous. Oh, that is dead on. That tastes like the restaurant. Put it around the edge of the pan to start. Now that took the heat right off there. All right, death is imminent. You're right. I'm sorry. So we got that heat back up to 6. Now we're going to let this come up to a solid bubble. And we're going to let it cook down a little bit, and then we're going to go in with our cornstarch. Oh, mama! So, yeah, this dish ends up being as much about the vegetables in the pan as it is about the meatballs, especially when you look at some of the meatballs versus others of the meatballs. We will get that figured out. Obviously, we'll do a repost at some point in the future when we've got it perfected. We're mostly here to have fun with food. So, I did a little bit of research on this. Some of this is from Cooking with Lau. Some of it, a lot of it, is actually out of my own head. When I was saying before about the taste of the sauce, that was dead on for what I normally get when I get orange chicken. So I was really, really, really happy with that. And gotta get the slurry. The slurriest stir. Wow, it is setting up on the bottom. There we go. So we want this to come down a little bit. Watch out. Ooh, okay, so let's get some of this in here. I didn't use all of the slurry, but this was reducing quite a lot. Well, that might be a little too much. Let's get a little bit of the chili water in there. I went too far the other way there. It's all about experimentation. Almost. I can see where it's at there, but that should get it where I want it. Oh, that is glossy and delicious looking. What I think I'm going to do, because these meatballs are delicate, except for those meatballs, but these meatballs are delicate. I'm just going to put it right on the platter. I'll put the ugly ones in the back. Oh my God, they are super ugly. All right. Tasty as heck, but super ugly. This is ready. Let's go ahead. So we're just going to put it right over everything. I did not make enough of this to hide how ugly these ones in the back are. So pretend you don't see them. That's all I ask. And I'm feeling light up front here. Big part of me is wondering if I should have just put all 12 of them in that pan to start with. But we'll never know. At least not tonight. Okay. I literally want to lick this wok. I would die, but I literally want to lick this wok. Okay. So we're going to try an ugly one. I don't want to leave them on there too long for you guys to have to stare at. But we're going to give it a try to one of these ugly ones. Oh, that is just stupid hot. It's not a bad thing. But there we go. A little bit of everything. Oh my. Ooh, yeah.
So they don't taste ugly?
A little softer on the inside than I like. Those are probably a little better. I'm going to give you a little side dish so you can try it while I take the camera. So, folks, not what we were trying to serve, what we're trying to serve. These are our orange chickpea meatballs. They are spicy, they are sweet, they are sour, they've got all that umami. We hit like so many flavor profiles with this. It is absolutely fabulous. These are not. These are. Thank you so much. Always a pleasure working with you. Talk to you soon.